Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. My name is Kayode, and the program is the early edition, which goes from 6 a.m. through to 11 a.m. every weekday from, Monday through to Friday. And right about now is the time for us to get straight into the Guru, and what you call Kayode and the Guru. I've been told that name is too long, Kayode. Maybe I'll just call it Oluke, like one of my callers describes me. But of course, this is where we look at the different perspective of news and events. More importantly, this week, maybe let me just behave like I have this crystal ball and imagine what the Guru will be talking about today, since we're getting thicker and deeper into elections. Maybe we'll be having perspective of the election that we've never before imagined. Maybe we'll be doing some analysis and reviews that we've not never before heard of, and maybe we might just be predicting who the winner of the elections will be come Saturday. But whatever it is, I have the man here, the man who is gone beyond being a mere mortal to becoming the Guru, to becoming somebody with influence and affluence, definitely. And that is in the person of the man we all call the Guru. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Kayode, if somebody should tell you that your name is too long,
yes, sir,
how did you pronounce it that is becoming too long? Is it Kayode or Kayode?
The name is Kayode. Yes, sir.
How many letters do you have there?
Oluwa is 5, Kayode is 5. That's
10.
No, okay, Kayode is actually 6. That's 11.
Yeah. Is that Shokodoko Bangoshe? One must be longer. Or can you compare that to my surname, Etaki Buebu?
It's become a household name, sir. So,
but you can just say Super K.
Super K and the Guru.
Yeah, Super K.
That sounds like
and that will sound very, very good on air.
On air, yeah, it does.
Super K.
It does. And it will sound like we're coming to rescue Nigeria. Super K and the Guru.
Better rescue yourself before you think of rescuing Nigeria. Good morning, you are welcome at Super K.
Yes,
or Kayode, or Kayode, or Kayode and the Guru. You're welcome. I practically waited for my guests to be complete. The last of them had come in. The first of them came in about 2 hours ago, or 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
And straight away, let's go introducing my guests. I will start from a guest who is far away. Enyo Hawan. I will call him today. Far away. No, not far away. That chieftaincy that describes a stranger or a far person as your brother. One need the number. All right. Now, I have two guests with me here. I have a guest also virtually sitting waiting for us, all the way from outside Lagos, not from outside Lagos, because when you talk of people at this particular hour in Nigeria, you be careful how you describe their movement, because you don't know which political interest they have. Can I therefore first of all introduce Professor Joseph Abugu? Professor Joseph Abugu is a teacher. He's a teacher of law at University of Lagos. He specializes in commercial law, but he's a teacher. You know, the lecturers, they would not want you to be calling them. They will tell you, I'm a teacher. And Professor Abugu is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He's a very senior professor teaching commercial law at University of Lagos. If he's not too far from me, if he's as close as I think he is, Professor Abugu, I'm happy to welcome you. Hello, sir.
Good morning, the Guru.
Oh.
And Kayode.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you, sir. Glad to be here as well.
In opposition to any attempt to anglicize your name, I would prefer you speak to the abridged Yoruba version, Kayode and the Guru.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you
it's
for that,
nice
sir.
to know that you are there waiting and for this program. I'm really very grateful. Let me just report to you exclusively for your own info. Adu had moved on. You know, search of greener pasture is the most confronting object that everyone wants to face, not to talk of a country that is I'm not saying he has jackpot, But I will not be saying he may not be Japarism. I've tried to say, but I'll move on. Now, in the studio with me here, from my extreme right, Super K, you have to help me to adjust this television a little. Is this called television or screen? What's the name?
You are still using this. You are still using this Super K. I'm protesting. No.
Okay. Kayode, help me. No, adjust it so that I can see the face of my friend who is coming very, very late. He wants to hide himself now. He's not really tired or tie his shoe, but he wants to hide himself. Okay. Yes, I have with me here Charles Kalu. Charles Kalu is a doyen of journalism, and it's one of my mentors in journalism. Let me put it that way. I refer to him in most cases as this. This is where the name started from. The Sheikh Buruburu of journalism in Nigeria. Charles Kalu, you are welcome to the program.
Guru, I'm flattered. Thank you very much, sir.
What happened to your voice? Don't tell me you'll be mediated.
Guru, I am very, very flattered. Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me to this show, K and the Guru.
Okay. Thank you very much. The way your voice came out, I thought you'd be mediated between Erufai and Godwin Emefiele.
Who will mediate for that kind of case, okay?
But Godwin Emefiele has been your person all along.
Eh?
He has been your person all along. Are you rejecting him?
Please let them not throw me stones.
Because when he was to contest for the presidency,
he consulted me. He consulted me, but I didn't know where the consultation ended.
And beside him, directly opposite me, is the man I called. I will give the name, but let me first of all introduce him barely as he is. His name is Odiri. Odiri is a journalist to the core. Until recently, he is the political editor of This Day newspaper. He's a very shrewd businessman. He has its interest spreading over and above journalism only. He's a teacher. He's a proprietor. You talk of the industry. He is solidly. He kule remanism. Kule otu remanism in the industry. But I call it the Agerese of the Robo Nations, the Amaketa of the people. Agerese meaning somebody that you must run to meet, to call when you have trouble that is bigger than you, because you are so sure he will solve it. The Amaketa speaks of somebody that until he comes, you don't just start any discussion, because without him, the discussion will not go ahead. These are the names that I have always identified with him over the years. Odiri, thank you very much for coming to this program.
Thank you for inviting me, sir.
And I remember, yes, journalism, he made journalism and journalism made him. So today, we have professionals sitting here. Because there was a time he wanted Niyi Adebayo to do something differently. And Niyi Adebayo was then governor in Ekiti State. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So he had to go and blackmail Niyi Adebayo to the wife. and the wife gave instruction to the husband immediately. Say, how can Uncle be calling you and don't want to do this? And Emmanuel Uduaga, when he was also governor of Delta State, he confessed at the Institute of International Affairs once that he blackmailed him. But after telling him that he now knew that what he did that time was really wrong, and that he stopped doing it because of his intervention. This is just to tell you how far the guy could go. Now, the topic on ground today, there is no menu. The topic on ground is the elections. I'm talking of 25th of February. Please mark my words. I did not say 25th of January. It is 25th of February election that we are talking about, which is today, just 5 days to go. And I brought a lot of issues from the marketplaces of Nigerians across the country. And why I decided now to bring these people, because most of the things that are showing, they don't make sense. So I needed those who are cultists when it comes to political dissemination. And thank God, it took me time before I could get these gentlemen, because they are not easy. They are not easily, you can't access them so easily. But one thing that God has given to me, which is His grace operating in my life, is at any time I will first of all go to God on my knees. I will mention the name of people I want. So by the time I call there is nothing like no. It is always yes, because God would have ministered and touched their hearts. Because we need to decode the whole thing. Once again, gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor, you are welcome.
Thank you, Guru.
All right, sir. Now, 2023 presidential election is 5 days from today. I will break the questions down. Mine is to throw the question and to listen to them, because they are wiser in this field than I do. So the first question is, can we say that the presidential election that is coming up in 5 days' time is already lost and won? Let's start from that premise. Let me respectfully, okay, there are no other lawyers here. So the issue of a senior advocate taking precedence is not in this court now.
It is, sir. It is.
Are you a lawyer?
It is.
Are you a lawyer?
The prof will always take the court.
But I'm even defining for him. But let me just throw.
No, we'll yield to him.
Prof, please, sir.
Yeah.
Can it be said that the general election that is coming 5 days' time is already won and lost?
Well, in the court of the Almighty, it is already won and lost.
Okay.
But for us mortals, we can only pontificate
Yes.
as to where the pendulum will swing.
Okay.
It's only God that knows the future.
Okay.
And the Almighty already knows that 25, 26, 27, we will have a new president.
Okay.
And the Almighty knows who that person will be.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So, but,
Yes.
yes, but for us mortals, when you ask the question whether the election has been won and lost, the only thing we can do is speculate and pontificate to some extent.
Okay.
Because we do not have all the demographics.
Okay.
And we also do not have credible polls,
Okay.
credible national polls
Okay.
that one can rely on as the basis for an empirical conclusion.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
You know, in the United States, at times like this, you say, you know, plus or minus 5, this is where the pendulum is going.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, we don't have that kind of credible polling system that is national and reliable.
Okay, sir. But don't forget that the international polls equally were involved. Can we rely on those international polls?
Well, those ones, they are not on ground.
Okay.
You know, they are not on ground.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And, I don't think we can rely on those.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Charles, the same question I threw to you, please give me an answer within a minute. 25th February, 5 days from today, is the presidential election. Can it be said that the elections is already won and lost?
Just as Prof noted, sir, well, only God can tell us that, but I don't think right here we can say it's won and lost.
Okay.
But one thing I do know is people have already made up their minds who to vote for.
Okay.
So it's not a case whereby someone else is coming to woo those who may be at the middle point. No, people have already made up their minds that this is the person I'm going to vote for on Saturday.
Are you giving a thought also to the undecided, at least for now, because there is still a percentage of voters that yet to make up their mind?
I don't know. Maybe the indecision could come. Maybe as they are walking to the poll, but most people now have already made up their minds. I think so. So I think the election on that day should be able to give us an idea who is going to win, who is going to lose.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir Odiri, I would not want to throw the same question to you because you are most likely to follow the pattern of those two ahead of you. But I will amend the question that is coming to you a little. 18 political parties are going into the election. First of all, in the beginning, 1 year ago, we were talking of 2-horse race, PDP, APC, but now we know it is beyond 2-horse. As we are talking of tripod, we now know that a fourth leg is standing somewhere, which is Kwankwaso. Your question is this: do you see this election being decided on the first ballot day, or there shall be a runoff?
Thank you for your question. First, let me make a little correction on my introduction. I was the deputy editor and never political editor of this day newspaper.
Okay.
But having said that, many pundits have tried to argue that there's not likely to be an easy win on the first round.
Okay.
So I think that is very likely that we're not going to have an easy win on the first round. So I suspect that because of the pattern of voting that we are suspecting that would take place, that we will not have a winner emerging so easily from the first round. So most likely there will be a runoff.
Okay. You introduced me to another question. It was not in my mind. And thank you very much for the correction. At that deputy editor, you are an editor.
Yes.
Probably you are an editor. Because the deputy commissioner of police, assistant commissioner of police has the power to hold command. Now, you introduce a dimension. If there will be a runoff, can you speculate? From your knowledge of politics, which I know you have, absolutely, can you speculate the two that are most likely to cross over to the runoff?
Well, there will be a lot of shocking to the Nigerian people.
Okay.
Because the traditional analyst would think that the big old parties would hold sway. But from the introduction you even gave, the coming of the Labour Party has upset the arrangement that has always been on ground. And so they are a major factor to consider and to talk about in trying to analyze how it will go. So the Labour Party will be a major component of that second ballot, as it were. So it may, in my opinion, be between the PDP and the Labour Party.
Wow, you've taken us to a different dimension. But thank you for this. I invited you after prayerfully consulting with my God, and he told me that I should talk to those who will understand the game. So you are seeing the possibility of PDP and Labour Party crossing over to the runoff.
That is my suspicion.
Okay, that's good. Professor Abugu.
I'm with you.
Oh, God bless you, sir. Now, about 3 things are endangering the legitimacy of the incoming election. And specifically speaking about, because I will deal more on the presidential war, because whoever wins the presidency will swing the votes for the governor and state houses of assembly. We have a country that is headed towards election and runs power at less than 2,000
megawatts. Okay.
Megawatts.
Electricity, yeah.
So the light is not there for evil people to have proper thinking. Then we have election that is coming, and we have a country that could not give fuel to the citizens. either to run their generator or to run their little businesses or anything. Then we have election that is coming, that suddenly there is no more cash. We now have exchange rate, not for foreign exchange rate for the naira in Nigeria. We now have, and they told us that swap, my interpretation of swap is the Bushman interpretation, which is taken from the Bushman dictionary, which says swap, if I bring this, you give me this. Mm-hmm. At the head of all this, sir, I want you to deal with only one thing. Answer, please. You have only 2 minutes to deal with it because the questions are many. President Muhammadu Buhari seemed to go not flowing exactly with the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, it was not judgment, but it was a ruling. Ex parte. Leave the matter as it were before it came here until we sit on it. That is what, to me, status quo ante stands for. But President Buhari is seemingly not going with that. That will be another matter entirely. It is not what I want you to look about. But as a senior advocate of Nigeria, sir, El-Rufai stood out in Kaduna, and El-Rufai broadcast to his people. Part of the broadcast, permit me to say this, sir, for the avoidance of doubt, all the old and new notes shall remain in use as legal tender in Kaduna State until the Supreme Court of Nigeria decides otherwise. Unlike what Emefiele said, but echoed by the boss, President Muhammadu Buhari, that the 1,000 naira note and the 500 naira note had ceased to be of legal tender February 10th. And immediately he said this, then El-Rufai made broadcast to his people and told them, I therefore appeal to all residents of Kaduna State to continue to use the old and new notes side by side without any fear. The Kaduna State government and this agency shall seal any facility that refuses to accept the old notes as legal tender and prosecute the owners. If need be, we shall take further consequential actions according to the law. He went on to say, on behalf of the Kaduna State government, I wish to assure you that none of you would lose the money you have in old notes. Let no artificial and illegal deadline frighten you. Whether you live in towns, villages, or our isolated rural communities, do not feel stampeded to deposit your old notes in the banks. Hold on to them. Continue to use them as legal tender as ordered by the Supreme Court, blah, blah, blah. This is El-Rufai I'm quoting. Sir, please quickly in 2 minutes now. This discord tone, the one of the president, the Supreme Court, and El-Rufai, where would it lead us to? And what is the legal implication of that? Knowing fully, permit me to add this, that even a week ago or more, the Supreme Court that gave the ruling was not even accepting the old naira note for filing purposes in their registry. So, sir, where are we headed to? Is it going to be a doomsday matter, or where are we headed to legally?
Guru, the issues are multiple and a bit complicated. Mm-hmm. And as it is, everybody needs to tread cautiously.
Okay.
A number of fundamental constitutional issues are at stake.
Okay.
Now, let me try and unravel them within the little time that...
but you just have to be brief, sir.
Because each of these issues will require a set time to analyze. But let's take them briefly. Now, the issue of forensic work and the issue and change of currencies and the issue of who has the legal authority to declare any paper or article or artifice as a valid legal tender.
Yes.
They are all tied together.
Okay.
Under the CBN Act, the governor of the CBN or the CBN as an institution have the legal power, one, to validate and declare which paper will qualify as a valid legal tender in this country.
Okay.
And when it comes to changing currencies or changing color of currencies, the CBN Act also gives specific powers to the CBN, albeit with the approval of the president.
Okay.
That's where the power lies.
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as the Constitution is concerned, as far as the CBN Act is concerned, that's one.
Yes, sir.
Constitutionally, too, the executive arm of government charged with the day-to-day management of the country, including its economy. And so, the issue of whether notes are being changed, the issue of whether a particular currency will expire at a particular point in time, and whether that adversely affects the daily routine and life of the people.
Yes.
It's like any other economic policy that the federal government, the executive arm, is charged to execute.
Okay. Constitutionally.
We are not all happy with every action of government.
Yes.
Some of them have serious consequences adversely, but that's the government who voted into power. And so we must recognize that.
Thank you.
Then, when you move from that, I can only then raise the issue, because trying to prepare answers to them require strategies. One, does the Supreme Court have jurisdiction to stop the implementation of an executive action if that executive action is being carried out according to the law? In the issue of change of currency, the timing of the change, the modality of the swap, are the actions of the CBN and the president in consonance with the provision of the CBN Act and the Constitution. If it is, then you may likely come to the conclusion that the suit before the Supreme Court should not actually be in the province of the judiciary.
Okay.
Now, so, because look at it, I have asked if the Lagos state government, for instance, introduces a transport system that adversely affects the citizens of Lagos, including federal workers in Lagos, but it is done according to the law, can the federal government drag Lagos state government to the Supreme Court to challenge the implementation of that policy? Or have we gotten to the point in the implementation of our Constitution where state government can drag the federal government to court on issue of implementation of executive
functions?
I mean, ASU was in strike for 9 months.
Exactly.
It affected tertiary institutions all over the country.
Yes.
Okay? Now, how many state governments went to the Supreme Court to challenge the federal government that the federal government breach of its agreement with ASU is affecting the education of their citizenry at the state level?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Try to round it up, sir, because many questions are still waiting.
Okay. So, these are issues that, try to befall the system. Now, finally, coming to the statement issued by the Kaduna State government.
Yes, sir. You have 3 seconds on that, sir.
Yes, without mincing words, that statement is executive recklessness of the highest order.
Thank you, sir.
In a constitutional democracy.
Thank you, sir. We are very.
There's no preaching about the bush.
Oh, thank you very, very much, sir.
And those are the kind of statements that can plunge this country into chaos.
Just a minute, sir. Can the statement of El-Rufai be lacking to treasonable felony?
Well, you have to look at, I just said that it is the kind of statement that can plunge this country into chaos.
Yes.
And so any statement or action of any individual that has the capability of causing chaos, disorder, and rocking the foundations of the concerned authority in the country,
yes, sir,
will be treasonable.
Okay. Thank you very much. We are grateful for that. Let me come into political matters now. Uncle Charles, in analysis that the former deputy political editor of this day brought, he said in his own mind, he's foreseeing two political parties rolling into the runoff, because at a runoff level, it can only be two. It can't be three, it can't be four. And he then mentioned, of course, this is his own opinion, his calculations, that it might probably be Labour Party and the PDP. Would you want to agree on that? Or we want to speculate that the election will be decided 5 days from, there shall be no runoff. If there will be runoff, is your mind floating? I know two of you are journalists.
I don't think there will be runoff, sir.
Okay.
I think the election will start on Saturday by 8 a.m.
Yes.
And latest by midday on Monday, we must have gotten the result. I don't think. Yes, my very good friend AD has also, he's done his own analysis. But I also think that, yes, the very two extra parties, because all these were since 1999 up until now, we've had two major parties running the race, so to speak, for federal. But right now, we have some two extra parties, the NNPP and the Labour Party, joining in the fray. But I also think that they are going to steal something here and there, but I don't think they are going to have enough to be able to get to the point where they are going to rock the challenge of the two major parties. So I believe that the election will start and end. There's likely not going to be a runoff.
Okay, thank you for that. Can I please throw this question into it? I know you are more than a wizard in matters of election. Who is the winner?
It's close to my chest, sir.
Why are you speaking like Muhammadu Buhari today?
I'm not speaking like Muhammadu Buhari.
Because
but possibly, I'm sure when Kayode shuts down the ports of the microphones, I'll tell you who is on my mind. But the point is, I think that election will start and end. There won't be any runoff, sir.
Okay.
Maybe I should shut it down, just reduce it so we can hear who it is.
That should be after 11 a.m.
I will come back to you.
Okay.
In the aftermath, it's not aftermath, we are seeing it, the dilemma of the Naira. The presidential candidate of the APC made bold to see, and his boldness came alive again in Abeokuta. Don't forget, first time Ogalule, second time Ogalule, third came in Abeokuta. Emilokan, which gives me something that there is something stimulating in that Egba, whether the Olumoroko that can give some impetus to people to speak. He said this was targeted, or is not was targeted against him to sabotage his effort. And El-Rufai, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, Kano State Governor, alias Gandola,
Governor.
Yaya Bello, Governor of Kogi State, that everything about him is fighting now for the people. Yet his salary to workers in Kwara State is half.
In Kogi State.
Kogi State is half. Oh, now, why is it that the APC governors are the ones that are crying more that this thing is targeted to them, for eliminating them not to be able to. Can you bring meaning to? Because as a bushman, I don't understand what is happening, sir. Are the governors or those contending, the politicians in other political party, are they not supposed to be victim or victor? Why is it that it is only APC that the crime is rising more and more?
In the days of Shakespeare, this would have been a classical case of irony.
In the days of Shakespeare,
yes,
it would have been a classical case of irony.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Because indeed, this is a policy being pushed and expounded by a government that produced them, the political party that produced them. And so ordinarily they should be very supportive of whatever policy
that their
government brings. Yes. And what is more, the leader of that antagonism is El-Rufai, who also prides himself as a leading Buharist. That's the way he describes himself, as a Buharist. So just less than 109 days to get out of office, suddenly he's opposed to the idol of that group, being Buhari himself. It's surprising that El-Rufai is leading a campaign against Buhari, and that is what it is. And truly, as some persons have said, it is an affront on the sovereignty of that office. The president has the right, like the professor said, the 2007 CBN Act gives the CBN all the powers to give the monetary policy of this country. And so for El-Rufai to appropriate unto himself the roles and functions of the CBN governor is an affront to the sovereignty both of the office of the president and of the country, as it were. He does not have that right. He does not run his own bank. He does not have his own central bank. So for him to counter what the president has said, I think it is quite unfortunate. And then, of course, like you rightly also stated, those two other governors, the governor of Kano, Benganduje, and then Yahaya Bello. These persons have also have baggages that we know of. Bello has been paying half salary, and very recently, his wife and his nephew were accosted by, and they are still being interrogated by the AFCC over huge sums of money that are missing in the system. And this was also a governor's wife who was giving out millions of naira during
1 million to
people,
to staff, including the person cooking the pepper soup.
Exactly, and then they are paying half salary. So it's something that should actually be probed. Why are they crying more than every other person? Are they the only ones suffering the cash crunch? What do they have against the cash policy, as it were? Are they the ones who were about the only ones planning to use cash to purchase votes, as have been alleged? So it's difficult to explain why they are feeling most hot by the policy of the federal government.
Okay, can I add it to this too, sir? I'm also shocked that CBN gave 90 days and extended it again to about a week. Now, between the first day this policy came and at least the first 30 days, nobody went to court. We dragged the second month. We dragged the third month. Maybe those of us that are law-abiding, we all pushed our old Naira notes to the banks.
Oh, you even have some to push.
Then
I don't have any to push. Go ahead.
Suddenly, we started seeing the same notes, the same money that people had already besieged the banks to save. Suddenly, the money is everywhere. And it now took the few days for the policy to end. That's when you now decided to go to court. That's when we suddenly started seeing all these monies. So what information did they not get within those 90 days that suddenly they found the information and all of them? Even my brother here did not even at Zamfara State.
Yes.
Because I understand that Zamfara State has not even paid, is owing for months.
Yes.
I saw a picture, but I'm alleging that picture was just there, that suddenly there was money he started to pay now. So we don't know where all these monies could be coming from.
Okay.
And it's something that, do you need to go to the Supreme Court? It's a family thing. Go into Asorok and meet the president. And if you think the argument of his economic advisors are not cogent enough, you place your own arguments on the ground and convince the president.
Mr. Charles, let's also get it right. These people sought a meeting with the president on this matter.
I was even coming there.
And the president said, okay, I've heard you.
Days.
Just give me 7 days. I will come back to the matter.
Yes, sir.
Before it was 7 days, they went to the court. Which means you did not trust that the president would come to settle the matter, as it were. This is the president
Eddie,
that elected.
Permit my naivety. I am a bushman. I don't know anything. That is why you must be very, very careful. Please be very, very careful. Those who met the president, are they all the governors of Nigeria together?
The APC governors.
The APC governors.
Yes.
And those who did not believe that the president they produce, are they governors of PDP?
A very funny question. No, sir.
Which governors are they?
The APC governors.
The APC governors.
Yes.
Can we come to the conclusion, please? Enlighten me. Can we come to the conclusion that one, the APC is a political party that is divided against itself, number one. Number two, can we so equally also come to the conclusion that those governors of APC that met their president and their president wait for me for 7 days and refused to wait for 7 days, that they don't have confidence in the APC? What is really tearing the APC apart? Please, gentlemen, I start from here again.
Well, I think it is unbridled quest for power. I see a tendency towards desperation to hold on to power. Okay. And they do not seem to be having all the confidence from the society, from the polity, that they will have the capacity to retain power. Okay. I suspect that worry, that fear, that anxiety is powering this revolt, the internal revolt amongst them. And that is why, as at the last count, 10 state governors have indicated interest in joining the suit. So I think there's a mark of desperation on their part.
Akeredolu had written a very long letter. That is another APC governor.
Yes, from Ondo State.
What he has not written all the years when massacre of Lekki happened. How many of these governors go to court, to the Supreme Court? When all this what happened, none of them went to the Supreme Court. Okay, we are moving somewhere. Please, Charles, please. The question as I put, is it a APC, is it a party divided, is it a house divided against itself? The APC governor, is it that they have no confidence in themselves as a political party? And where would this lead to?
You see, I think yes, the discord even started right from their primaries, because we had discordant tunes, we had different interests, and at the end of the day, the presidential candidate emerged. And at the point of emergence, we had the problem of bringing the other voices, the other aspirants, bringing them also into this bunch to be able to say, okay, the elections is won and lost. How do we move? Because also one or two of the presidential aspirants went to court to stop the presidential candidate. And we have also seen, for instance, the person that came second in that election, we have not seen him anywhere. Even when the presidential candidate,
the primaries
of APC. So even when APC went to campaigning,
sorry, by the way, who was that second person?
Amechi.
Okay, Rotimi.
Yes.
Is he still in Nigeria?
He's still in Nigeria, and he has shown up in 3 states. He was in Jos, he was in Adamawa, and he was, I think, recently also in Gombe.
He was not in his state as well.
Not at all.
We don't know the reasons.
Okay.
He was not in
For
the state.
obvious reasons. It should be clear to every discerning mind who reads politics.
You want to guess into that?
Yes, the APC presidential candidate was having very worrisome hobnobbing with the Wike, who is like the Absalom in the Port Harcourt political house, as it were. So, if in the opinion of Amechi, I suspect, if Tinubu is so desperate to have the support of Wike in his own Port Harcourt and Rivers State, then it can as well stay away and then let them have their feast.
Okay, I know that if I give you the opportunity, you can give us more details of Rotimi Amechi, because I know he's your very, very close friend. But let us not go into that now. Let us move the trajectory to another arena. And at this point, I will want Professor to come into the narration now. Will all this happening, do you anticipate it could affect the result of the election of 25th of February, the presidential election? Can this affect it? Sorry, sir, but this time, please just give me 1.5 minutes, please.
Well, the fact is any policy with regard to that affects our availability of funds will certainly have impact on the elections. You know, in this country, notwithstanding extant laws regulating election finances, we don't have institutions that have been able to, the various statutory and constitutional restrictions on electoral funding. So politicians go out of the way to mobilize funds to finance their elections. In quite a number of states, if you don't have up to 25 or 200 million, you can attend an office, even a House of Assembly. Because they have to mobilize party agents, they have to pay for mobilization of their various what they call the various structures. From the local government to the state level, from ward to local government to state level. These things are financed with funds. And so if funds are not readily available, they certainly affect the performance of all the parties. But the good thing about this one is that it's affecting everybody, and will also have the effect of pruning our electoral system, devoid of the influence of money. Elections in this country have become something for money back. People don't go into elections on the basis of integrity or their past performance. But it is anchored on how much money they are ready to spend.
Okay, sir.
And so, if this liquidity squeeze will help in pruning down electoral expenses,
sir.
Welcome the elections will be a true reflection of the popularity of the candidate.
Thank you very much, sir. That is much we can take from you. Let us start winding down, because a lot of people, I may not be giving the people too much time today, because it's not easy gathering this. Maybe we'll be discussing the after this tomorrow, next tomorrow. Gentlemen, this question now is obvious. Shall this election, with the result we anticipating from this election, the one of 5 days from today, shall it be grossly different from previous elections of similar level, or it shall not? If it shall, what are the factors that will be deciding it? Or if it shall it be an improved version that will give Nigerians joy that at least their vote counts, or shall it be game as usual, people die for nothing? 2 minutes each person. I start with you, Odiri.
Thank you, Guru. Let me very clearly say that Nigeria experienced political renaissance
now
with the NSAS protests.
Oh, NSAS protest.
Yes, it launched Nigeria into political renaissance, and with that, the awareness in the polity is heightened. Between then and now, you would have noticed the huge volume of the youths that have become verily interested in political development in the country. So, I think the analysis being shown by INEC shows over 7.4 million youths,
the demography.
Yeah, the demography.
Yeah.
So there's a clear indication that the youths are verily active now, much more than they were in previous elections.
And are they prepared to take their country back?
Oh, sure. That has been the mantra, that they want to take. In fact, we also salute
No,
the University Authority, NUC, for shutting down the universities such that the undergraduates can go back home and exercise their
rights of
franchise. Yes, their rights to vote. And I would verily think, as it will be evidently clear by February 25th, that clearly, as to answer your question directly, it will be verily different. What we are going to see, the pattern of voting, the volume of voting, the choices the people will make will be verily different from.
Okay, you have exhausted your 2 minutes. Charles, please. 2 minutes.
I absolutely agree. And another thing too is, even if the young people, whichever party they plan to vote for, does not emerge, they are politically conscious now. So you'll be ready to have another opposition group wherever you are, because now they may not fight on the streets, but their telephones will always pick up. Because any rules, any laws, any legislation you come up with, you will get the opposition from that point. So they are all out. I was speaking to some of them some time ago. They said, look, no amount of intimidation would take them off the polling booths.
That's good.
That if you carry your machetes, you carry your guns, you will kill them first before they leave there. So they are insisting. It's no longer going to be a situation where you have possibly some older women and older men once you bring those machetes and they are all running away. Okay. They all say they are going to vote and protect their votes.
Thank you very much. Professor Abugu, you hearing us from there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Please, sir, your answer to the same question, but if it crosses 2 minutes, I may have to take the son to the Supreme Court. Go ahead, sir.
Well, yes, there is a nationwide consciousness. In fact, the fervor and vibrancy that we feel now is on account of the reawakening of the interest of the youth in the election process. I have no doubt that this interest will manifestly change the pre-existing order in the election come 26th February and March 11th.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. At this point, gentlemen, please just sit down. I want to open the lines for caller in who have been listening to us. We are not going to take, and let me warn, not be warned, no, we take messages. Let me warn callers, please, today is 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Once we are going above that, we'll cut you off respectfully, please. Then the messages, they are there. Yeah. So, Kayode, why are we starting from the messages?
Let's start from messages. A lot of messages have been dropping since we get started. So, it says, Kayode and the Guru, topic on ground the election. Question 1, is the election won or lost? Answer, not until the winner is declared. We'll be speculating. We can only play our own role and wait for the announcement of the winner. The winner will be declared without a runoff. A runoff in this election might result to chaos and anarchy. It's better not to have a runoff El Rufai has decided to dance naked in the market square. The message goes on and on. Oluwakade and the Guru, Chooks from Ikeja, says, and that was Adegbuega, by the way. Now, Oluwakade and Guru, Chooks from Ikeja, please permit me to add that visually, all Nigerians have turned in all their legitimately earned money into the bank accounts. So these governors, including the governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El Rufai, based the remarks he allegedly made against the international electoral observers before the I don't understand what that means.
Maybe that was 2019 where he said that they will go away body bags.
So I'm just trying to link that with them. Now I'm trying to link that with saying we've dropped money in the account.
It was for those reasons that people associated him with invitation to jihadists.
All right. Ocho from Songo, I've never seen this type of bias radio station. Okay, interesting. Bias presenters and bias analysis in my life before even the lawyer bring up ASU strike in this matter. All right, Edwin Asuko, I pray not to have another Rufai in Nigeria again. He always pops up for the wrong reasons. Paying ransom to killer headsmen, body bags, evil genius, Tiny Terror, and the rest. And John from Alemacha says, good morning, the Guru. I want to disagree with everything, and I mean everything your guests have said there. A guest said, El Rufai said, not people should continue spending the old note as against the CBN policy, and that is wrong. Forgetting that Rufai is only re-echoing the Supreme Court ruling. I disagree with everything being said there this morning because I find it surprising that the president could disobey the court order, and this is being supported in the studio by your guest. Nobody has said the president should disobey the court order here. Good morning, all. I wish the analysts could remove the politics and personal bias out of the equation and just give us all-rounded balanced analysis. I don't see how the governor is not going to court on account of ASU strike and SARS inability to pay full salary got to do with the untold suffering being experienced by Nigerians at the moment. Nigerians are suffering. Let's put on our humanity every time and all times. James from Towing Street in Ikeja. Okay. Let's take a last turn before we go to the calls. Good morning, everyone. Quick one. The major reasons why Tinubu and those APC governors are the ones crying more is because they have much old monies they intend to buy votes with, e.g. the bullion van that makes its way to Tinubu's house, etc. They are the problem of this country. The earlier we do away with this rogues, okay, the better. Professor Mingwo, nice one, Charles and Co. That is Emperor.
Can you go to the phone lines?
Let's go to the phone lines right about now. Hello, caller. Good morning. Hello. All right. How can we miss our first call? Oh, you are coming through. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you.
Yes, sir. Your name, sir?
Just in the studio there. Good morning. Kayode, thank you for picking my thoughts today.
Yes, sir. Morning. What's the name?
The Guru. You know, one thing.
Your name and where you calling from, sir?
It's Mr. Silas Kayode.
All right, sir. Sorry. I should have moved your voice. Huh?
The way you analyze things, I do appreciate it so much. You know, most times, I used to accuse you guys, media, that you are part of the problem in this country, media, judiciary, and police.
We agree.
And that is exactly what is falling out in this country. I wonder how somebody, a media presenter, will come here on Friday. I'm talking in the respect of Mr. Kunu, coming here to mislead people, blaming MFLO and the president. It's quite unfair. Whatever you think is your own opinion. You don't come on air here telling it to the market.
Okay, sir. Okay.
It's not fair.
No, all right, no, go to your own now.
Very much for that. Hello, caller. Good morning. Hello. Hello, caller. Okay. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, sir. Morning to you.
Morning. Your name and where you're calling from? 45 seconds.
Emmanuel from Mijibo. All right, let's hear you. 45 seconds.
Yeah, on El-Rufai and APC, you remember one of them during the 2015 election said that they will run against a parallel government if Jonathan did not want to leave power. I see them, I've been studying them since then. They have been running a parallel government against themselves. But that is by the way.
Okay.
The truth is that
10 more seconds.
From the analysis of the lawyer, I totally agree with him because the El-Rufai and his colleagues making case against the federal government on this issue.
All right, then. Thank you so much for that. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Morning, the bus stop.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you.
This is Rotimi from Medium.
All right, Rotimi. Let's hear you.
I want to disagree with the essay and the prof.
Okay.
It was some CLOs that first of all went to court to get a restraining order on the central bank from extending. That was when the governors went to court, to the Supreme Court. And it was not only PDP. The conference of governors, including PDP, went to court, disagree with this policy.
Statement,
this crisis that has plunged the whole country into chaos would not have arisen if the Emefiele and Attorney General had not disobeyed the Supreme Court.
All right, then. Thank you.
Sorry, let's get this right.
Thank you so much.
The professor spoke more about jurisdiction.
All right, hold on a minute, caller.
The professor spoke more about jurisdiction because if it is between the federation and the states, yes, for the mere fact that at the initial CBN was not joined.
Exactly.
Take the matter off.
Exactly.
Then they should have started this at the Federal High Court.
Exactly.
All right, sir. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Let's hear you. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Mr. Guru and the studio over there.
All right.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Continue to bless you. I always listen to your radio. My name is Yaku Rotimi.
Okay, sir.
You see, we for the suffering of this country, unless a madman that we don't know where who's going to vote for, we know where we are going. Nobody can defeat us. If they come out with gun, we come out with gun. If they come out with fire, we come out with fire. We fire for fire for them.
No, we don't encourage
You mean you
that.
have acquired gun? Illegally? Are you not reporting yourself to the police now? My hand not do if police reach your house this afternoon. I beg go gun for gun, not do for our calculation
Not
here.
at all. Not at all.
It is there is what we call the BB, bullet and ballot. It is the ballot we are going for, not the bullet.
That's it. All right, sir. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Remy, where have you been hiding?
You are going to make
morning,
me to
sir.
prolong the talk.
All right, Remy, let's hear you.
45 seconds.
Okay, I will be good. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to beg the elders, the elder statesmen and women, to please caution these desperate politicians, because the utterances El-Rufai have been making is something that can incite people. If you remember, proud to 2020 election in America, this is how Trump was sowing doubt in the election. The same thing happened in Brazil. And you know the incident that happened.
All right, then.
So they need to be very careful because they've run after political self-esteem.
Okay.
And it's not our fault that they have failed.
All right,
Thank
then.
you.
Thank you so
God
much
bless
for
you.
that.
Even-
Hello, caller.
Okay. Go on.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Morning,
Yes,
sir.
I want to greet Mr. Guru.
What's the name, sir? Where are you calling from?
Wonderful analysts he brought. Fantastic people.
Your name and where you calling from?
Have good heads like this.
Okay.
I want to say, you see what is happening to APC governors. Even yesterday they met. Still insisting. There's an undertone to what they want to do. This is a good. I'm not happy what is happening in Nigeria. See what is happening to Nigeria. You want to say what that's what politicians do for.
Yeah.
God will judge them.
He has gone sentimental.
Sorry about that. We don't know where you are in the sphere of things now, but just take it easy. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Ola calling from Aja.
Ola from where?
Aja.
Aja. Okay. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Mr. Guru.
Morning, sir.
And the law and the professors you just.
All
We are
right.
so grateful for it. And the question I want to ask is particularly about the El-Rufai statement, which the professor has said is against the law of the country, and it might incite violence. Now, if after the election, does the federal government have right to take him to court, just as Trump, when he lost the US election, he has now been taken to court because you can see the invasion in the White House.
Thank you very much. Let me just say a word here.
Okay.
Because the time is
going
against us seriously. The word I need to say here is that President Muhammadu Buhari, Yemi Osinbajo, the vice president, El-Rufai with the deputy governor, they operate under the same system. They have constitutional immunity. But the law permits you can investigate them, but you cannot charge them to court.
Not prosecute them.
Or prosecute them. But once they leave office, they're gone. Now, beyond what we just said here today, El-Rufai had even made further statements where he said that he is aware that the cabal of Buhari is planning for interim government. And for interim government to metamorphose under a democratic setup like this, meaning the government would have forcefully be removed. So that call came into being, and we understand that. And he went further by saying that a retired general has been slated to take over the interim government. All this border in things, but for the prosecution and blah blah blah, this is what goes on. Now, please, I think this is much I can take from.
I believe so for now.
For now,
just need to wrap up.
I must go back to my book. First of all, Prof, I started with you. There is nothing wrong heading up with you too. Professor Abugu. Okay, thank you. Are you still there?
I'm here. Go on.
Okay, thank you very much. In less than 1 minute, sir. The log jam, the Nakune, as you told me in the studio here some years ago, what do you foresee? Speak as a prophet. As a prophet.
As a prophet, I see election holding on the 25th of February. I see that election being a very free and fair election. I see that election as being an expression of the will of the majority of Nigerians. And I foresee that election will bring a change.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for your thought.
You're welcome.
And that is Professor Joseph Abugu, a senior advocate of Nigeria, a senior teacher, because they call themselves teacher at University of Lagos. So thank you, sir. You can sign off for now. Then
thank you, everybody. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, Charles, would you be able to say, please bring your knowledge of politics, journalism, covering all this thing for years? Would you be able to say that the position of the APC governors is achieving negatively the marketing of Bola Tinubu as their presidential candidate? Or the position of the APC governors, now that they are fighting among themselves, is going to make the APC to win last March? Or is the marketing their own candidate? I mean, have a stand on this.
They are both ways, sir. I think El-Rufai is coming like somebody that, look, I am for the people. That the Naira redesign policy is against the people. But the question is, at what point did he start that agitation?
At what point did he become the man of the people?
Especially this particular agitation. At what point? When the people had already found a way to bank their old currencies, he suddenly came out. So at some point, he could sound like supporting them. But at some other areas of the country, I don't think he is. Because people already feel and believe that our monies are already at the banks. For instance, I was yesterday morning, I was at Abeokuta and I was leaving almost all the banks. It was like people took their mats. They were all there. the banks were not working, but crowds of people, heads
and
of people.
was Sunday.
Yes, heads of people were there waiting. What could they have been waiting for? Okay, so that's the level the thing has now gone to.
Waiting for Monday.
So I think he is demarketing APC, but APC members don't believe so.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Even before I come to you, Idoye, let me quickly add is that of all the 36 governors in Nigeria today, El Rufai is credited to have most greatest disdain to court order. Every court order that had come, he had thrown it away into the bush. Please read this book. Something civil
emergency civil service,
accidental
civil
service. Read his books, and you will read where he admitted his book, how he went to bribe a judge in Abuja. He wrote the book. I did not write it for him. Read the book. How he bribed, even the name of the judge, was it not mentioned? Gumi. All of them attended the same Barewa College or something. And every court order against the people, against the government he had total disdain. But that is not where I'm going. Sir, I come to you as the last man standing on this issue now. You said you saw the possibility of two political parties flipping to a runoff. Do you foresee any tragedy that is coming via the wrath of protest, or do you see violence coming, or this shall be the most peaceful election in our history? 1 minute, sir.
Well, I am an optimist. I believe that the country will have a peaceful election.
Okay.
The election itself is not ended until results have been declared,
yes,
and winners have been declared,
yes,
and all of that. While I agree that the election itself will go smoothly, the outcome may be, like I said initially in my opening statement, that it will be a lot of shock. So those who will not be able to take the shock may react in certain ways.
May react negatively.
Yes, may react in certain ways that will be antisocial, as it were.
Right.
So it is possible that there will be some, if you like, uprising or some disquiet in some locations and some places, especially those who have exaggerated opinion of their capacity, and if they do not get what they want, they might react in a way that might cause some social disequilibrium.
All right.
Thank you very, very much. That is Odiri, an astute journalist, and next to him is Charles Kalu. I call him the Sheikh Buruburu of journalism in Nigeria, and the voice that signed off is Professor Joseph Abugu. I want to appreciate all of you for bringing senses to all these things, because left for me alone as a bushman without anything, I wouldn't have been able to meet it. This may not be the last time. I may even before the election, if I have my way. But thank you very, very much for coming. Listeners, here we are. Let me just announce this to you, that we shall be taking proper analysis of the election. Starting from Thursday this week, these studios shall be loaded with experts talking the pre-election. We want to analyze it. We want to analyze the demography. We want to analyze the population of female, and that will make the difference, and all those. And Friday we shall be here. Saturday, 24 hours we are not leaving this place. Please come with us. Monday, until the declaration is finished, we are not leaving this studio. Same thing we will do for November. March. Why am I calling November? Which November? November of 2022.
Do you foresee a postponement?
No. Is it November of 2022? So March 11.
Yes, sir.
So please hook us with us.
All right.
If you are not with Lagos Talks 91.3 FM, you are nowhere. My name, you know, and you can follow me. Instagram, Twitter is at Godwin_Webu. Facebook is Godwin Itaki Webu. Then there is a page created which is Vetra Column, and of course you can go to my website which is www.godwintheguru.com. Then go to my YouTube channel. In fact, the YouTube channel has a video uploaded now. The matters that are not to be expected. About the results of the election, what the results will be. Are they won or lost? So you can go to that. Oluwa Kayode, I want to thank you. Oluwa Ferome, I want to thank you. Jeremy, I want to thank you for coming again. We shall do this again continuously. We are not going to wait for another week even. Now, please, before we meet here again, keep yourself out of trouble.